Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Luis Fernandez. Wake County Public School leaders are looking to expand mental health services to every school in the district by the end of the year. This effort comes despite losing more than $14 million in funding from the federal government. A few statistics I want to point you towards to set all of this up. Among U.S. high school students in 2023, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 40% reported persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness in the past year. 20% reported seriously considering attempting suicide in the past year. Also from the CDC, based on data from 2021 to 2023, in the past 12 months, more than half of U.S. adolescents reported discussing their mental and emotional health with a healthcare professional. To speak more on this, WRAL News reporter Destinee Patterson joins us now. Destinee, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, federal cuts are making Wake County's plans harder. What changed and what kind of challenge does this loss of federal funding present?
Yeah, so I'll just set the scene, right? Wake County schools, right now, more than half of their schools, they are enrolled in this mental health program. And the point of the program is connecting students with outside agencies that the district is working with, and it allows them to work directly with a licensed therapist. As you mentioned in those statistics there really is a gap for addressing a lot of the mental health issues that students have been dealing with, and especially since COVID. COVID has really exacerbated a lot of the mental health issues and needs that these students have. So the Trump administration, they slashed funding. Wake County schools, they were expecting $14 million in a grant. And that money was supposed to be used to help hire more mental health professionals to work in the schools. And now the federal government has cut that money. So what that means for the district is now they're having to go back to the drawing board because their plan was to expand their mental health services, and now they're kind of having to work with what they already have, but still trying to meet as many students as they possibly can.
You spent a lot of Thursday at Salem Middle School. So who did you speak with there? Why were you there? What were those conversations like?
Right. So I spoke with a school counselor at the middle school. I also spoke with a representative from Daybreak Health. That is one of the agencies that the school district is working with. They work with several, but that's one of them. And we really just talked about, what needs they meet and why it's important to have this kind of system in place to help students. As I mentioned, COVID has really made things more difficult for students, and it's really highlighted a lot of the problems that they're dealing with. And so we spoke a lot about that. They've seen issues of anxiety, people not showing up to school, and them trying to address that as well. And they also talked about, how they're going to be able to continue their services or expand them, because the district still has this goal of every school having this mental health program, but now they're working with a lot less money than they initially anticipated. And so Daybreak specifically, they actually said that they are taking on some pro bono cases. So they're helping fill the gap that way. So it shows that there really is this collaborative effort to meet the needs of these students, even though they're not getting everything that they expected initially.
You're talking to these folks, they're explaining these things, but this is obviously, they're very serious situations that these counselors, whoever it may be, are dealing with. Just what do they express, just how important this kind of work is, especially with adolescents, with students?
Right. They did speak a lot about that because, like I said, the issues that they're dealing with really have been highlighted, and especially in that school age, especially think like middle school, that awkward phase, the puberty, the trying to figure everything out. And that also applies to high schoolers as well. So they talked a lot about just being able to assist those students. And, we've been talking so much about how, especially schools, they're dealing with staffing issues as well. And the school counselors are not exempt from that. So they are dealing with, pretty small departments, people taking on multiple schools, trying to fill the gap, fill the need, and that is where this other program comes into play and helps. A lot of the sessions with these other agencies are virtual, and they can be held throughout the school day, so that helps as well.
Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, how Wake County plans to move forward with mental health in mind. Welcome back to the WRAL Daily Download. We're talking with WRAL news reporter Destinee Patterson about the Wake County Public School System's school-based mental health program. So, Destinee, we see the challenge here, right? It's an admirable but a difficult thing to try and provide all of these resources for all Wake County public schools, especially with the $14 million of a budget cut that they're not getting from the federal government. So what does Wake County want to do moving forward? How are they planning on making this work?
I mean, they still have a very ambitious goal. I even double-checked with them when meeting with the school representative and the representatives from the other agencies, and they told me they still want to make this program available to every school in the district. What that means is, from what they're telling me, it means that they're working with what they have. So, like I mentioned, some of the counselors are already kind of juggling multiple schools. But as mentioned, I mean, there is at least one of those other agencies that is willing to provide help at no cost. And what's interesting about the program, too, is it is insurance-based, which is important because, you know, if you have private insurance, you may be subject to co-pays depending on what your insurance covers, whereas students with Medicaid, there's no cost. So there is a gap, you know, the gap of students who don't have insurance but still might need these services. That especially is where some of these pro bono cases will come into play. So that's one of the things that they're doing. And they also mentioned to me another challenge. So last school year, they had more than 500 referrals, and it was close to 300 students that actually took the step to sign up for the program. So there's a gap there, and they're telling me that really that is the result of issues with insurance, but also it does require consent from the families as well. So if there is a referral and the family, you know, either doesn't want them to be enrolled in the program, or maybe they just haven't gotten back to checking the box and signing the paperwork, then there is still this gap here. So even though they are trying to expand to more schools, there is also this initiative to expand within the current schools that they already are utilizing this program to make sure that, you know, students and families get that help. And it might be as simple as making sure that people fill out paperwork, but also making sure that families know that it's available to them, because family members, parents, they can also call the school and say, hey, I think my student might need to be enrolled in this therapy program.
Is there anything else I'm failing to mention here that you think is important to add?
No, I think that one of the things that was really highly emphasized to me is just this idea of mental health resources and therapy is not a luxury. It's a necessity, especially following, you know, the weird period of COVID and trying to get students back caught up and trying to get students back into classrooms. So I think that was one of the things that was really highly emphasized, is just this need for, one, a greater awareness, but two, making sure that everybody has access to it. So I think it's going to be interesting over the next couple of years how they adjust to this, but the district does have the ability to reapply for that grant. So, you know, I'm sure that they're hopeful that they'll get another swing at it in the future.
All right. That's WRAL news reporter Destinee Patterson. Destinee, thank you so much. If you or someone you know needs help, you can contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at any time. The number is 988. You can also visit WRAL.com and search Get Help for additional resources in our area. I'm Luis Fernandez. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for listening to the WRAL Daily Download and for making us part of your morning routine. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email with Triangle news, events, and headlines to help you get ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.